So this is the drum album. Sorry, they call it the Sheffield Drum Record. If you are collecting vinyl and you think you are an audio person, you need to have this album in any of its versions in your collection. I listened to this. I didn't know what I was listening to because I walked into the room as the demo had already started. It gets to the end, and I don't remember on which side. It's either the Keltner side or the Tut side, obviously. But at the very end, he finishes this basically a long drum solo so that you are hearing all of the tones through your audio system, and that's why it existed, was to judge your audio system. At the very end of it, he clears his throat. And I swore to God, when I heard, I thought somebody was right there. I was all alone in the room, except for the guy far across the room that had control of the preamp. Shocking. It sounded like a human. So not only did I get to help myself become accustomed to what a reference of a drum set should sound like, I already knew what a human voice sounded like. And when this guy clears his throat at the end of that record, it gave me goosebumps. I really thought there was somebody standing right over my shoulder. So that was fun. And so I'll just leave this out for a second. So that led from the Sheffield Drum album to number 2 in your collection should be the James Newton Howard Quintet demo. This is also a special CES review pressing. And this features James Newton Howard, who now, he's probably in his 70s, is an acclaimed soundtrack and composer for TV shows and movies. You'll see lots of him. But he was also part of the Toto family on the Porcaro family side. He was never a member of Toto that I know of, but he was in that crowd because when he was hired by Sheffield to do this album, guess who he called to be the band? Steve Porcaro, David Paich, Jeff Porcaro, Joe Porcaro. Sound familiar? It is Toto without Lukather. I don't think there's any guitar parts on there. So, and if you've never heard Joe Porcaro, that's Dad. That's Mr. Porcaro, Mr. Toto. He is the father of the boys who founded the band Toto. This album is so dynamic. It has tracks on it that really light up an audio system. And listen, I understand everybody goes to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Everybody goes to Steely Dan for demoing audio. Continue to do that. What I'm telling you is that these albums were recorded in such a way called direct to disc. And so that was, as I mentioned, the band, the mixing console, the lathe that burns it into the vinyl. So if somebody plays a wrong note, somebody knocks over a mic stand, it's either determined to leave it in or you record it all over again. Direct to disc. It is one chance to get it right. Not many bands do it. Tower Power did it. Tower Power has a Sheffield pressing of one of their studio albums. It is not direct to disc, but it is another one of those that needs to be in your demo.